record to your computer and send it.
Yep. Wonderful. So we're recording, and I'll start again. A very warm welcome to this afternoon's little event. My name is Colette, and thank you, Asha, for joining me. We will be cooking a potato and leek soup. We will look at some vegetables to steam, to have them as a salad or as an additional element of a dish, or and we will be doing a vegetable stock. Is that what you wanted to say?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I've kind of
I mean, I would want to see lots of them, but I guess, I need to respect your time as well. So I think we can do this much.
We can do lots of things, but today I have to do another delivery tonight.
Okay, no problem, no problem.
You wanted the other day, and that was the only couple of hours that I have in between. So
that's okay, no problem.
What we would like to do is, I would love to ask a couple of questions. So I'm not so sure who the friend is, or the colleague, or the person who is going to watch this video. So let's find out what's important to you when it comes to cooking. Yeah, over to you.
So for me, it is important that, things are very nutritious and we are getting a balance of all elements that is needed. It's also very important that all colors and all protein requirements as well as fiber requirements are there. I kind of manage some of the cooking all right, but where I find I lack the depth is where I don't know how to make soups. I don't know how to make stock and things like that on a regular basis. So I kind of avoid it, and avoid cooking which has got stock and things like that. So if I can, then do that easily with these devices, it will make life easy. And then, my daughter is also like not very keen on Indian food, unfortunately, even though we can cook really beautiful Indian meals at home. She would prefer other things. So she would love soups and things like that. So she's a very picky eater. So I think, yeah.
Look, we both know that when you get a child, when you get anybody to participate in the process, there's naturally a lot more ownership that will happen. And often you surprise yourself, and you see how the person who's doing the cooking will also do the eating. And that particularly is surprising when you expose yourself to making things you've never made, or you usually choose to. So with regards to the Thermomix, just a quick question. Is the lady who is interested in seeing,
she's also wanting to learn similar things, because her cooking is very similar to my cooking. So when I talk to her, like, this is what she would also like to learn. So I think this will be good combination of dishes for her as well.
The reason why I'm asking is, and I could bring this a little bit closer, sometimes when the camera changes.
Yeah.
I'll do that a little bit later. But the Thermomix is basically referred to as the world's smallest and smart connected kitchen. Just to give you a little bit of a summary, we have, which you can't see on this screen, but there is 3 buttons which refer to time, temperature, and speed. These are the buttons that you will use when you utilizing the machine in manual mode. That means you use it as a tool to achieve what you will want to achieve. Let's say you want to chop an onion, or chop other garlic, spices, turmeric, and so forth. You will throw this all in, set the time, and turn up the speed, which is all information that you will receive from me. And you no longer have to do the hard work yourself. That, I believe, from what I've seen with you, is quite appealing. because it chops down on the preparation time, and particularly when you come home after a long day, it's often not the most inviting thing to think of. Anyway, we have a swipe to the left, which allows us to, I can bring this a little closer to the camera. There, here we are.
Yeah.
The angle, and there is a group of functions, and amongst
Yeah.
those functions are, let me just put this back onto its shot.
Sorry, yeah.
The functions include scales, chopping, dough, turbo clean or turbo chopping, a pre-clean function. You have seen the pre-clean function. It's phenomenal, helps to get the bowl nice and clean. Blending, boiling, the kettle function, a warm-up function. If health is on your agenda, you will obviously understand that using the microwave will eventually cook the nutrients out of food. And so utilizing the Thermomix has become something that that will eliminate this potential loss. And therefore, I actually really like the warm-up function. Thickening, when you want to thicken food up, that could be some, in the westernized world, quite a lot of things are thickened up with things like tapioca starch or corn flour. For you would use other things. What I will be using today, I'm not sure yet, but I quite often use almonds. And it works for me because that adds not only less starchy food, but it adds more protein to my food. Then we have the slow cook function, which particularly comes in handy in the winter time more so. Sous vide function, the peeler, the grater, and the slicer. And why don't we start out?
Oh, it has got a grater too.
Yeah, the grater and slicer that is done by the cutter that we sit on top.
Oh, okay.
Which I'll show you in a moment. I just would like to get started with the, hang on, we'll put the soup on first, and I think what might help us is the angle. Yep. What I have done for us today is I have chosen the recipes, and they are already hang on.
I think, yeah.
There's my soup. Hang on. There's the
Yeah.
camera. You can see
Yeah.
the potato and leek soup. Yep.
Yeah.
Wonderful. We can get around it. Normally I have a second camera, but my second camera is flat. So someone used my iPad. Anyway, I have the potato and leek soup. You've just got to trust me. You have seen what we're doing. In the field of guided cooking, the machine actually offers us a scaffold of a recipe which you could follow to a T. That gives you confidence, and it'll help you to understand how the machine works. However, most people, including myself, when I know what I want to achieve, I deviate and I change ingredients to suit my own purpose. And that's what we're going to do today. You basically get taken through the recipe step by step, and oopsie, step by step, and oops. The very first thing that I'm being told is to add a garlic clove, which I've just done. Pressing next whenever the process is completed. And what you might not see, this actually shows the scales. And if there is a need for something to be weighed, which is right now, I'm being asked to put 30 mils of olive oil in. I've put that in, but I've also got ghee, which is shop bought. The Thermomix can also make you ghee by through the machine. I just ran out, and that's why I've always got a little bit of ghee here. Is that something that you would use?
Probably not for the soup. Yeah, prefer the oil.
Yeah, absolutely up to you. There's plenty of soups where I use the ghee, but for this particular soup, I won't. Pressing the button, and we're just chopping the garlic and the oil. Wonderful. And here it is.
Yeah.
In 3 seconds, this little activity was done. It comes in really, really handy when people are suffering with arthritis or when fine coordination is a little bit compromised. What the machine is doing right now here is spending 3 minutes sauteing what we've put in.
What?
In these 3 minutes, everything good?
Yeah, yeah.
So far, I've had not much to do.
Mhm.
What I will do in this next process, which hopefully here you see the 3 dots a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I will do here is I've decided to steam some broccolini and some carrot for you. But I'd like to show you the activity of the cutter. The cutter is a separate part that you place up the top.
Yeah.
And the way that it connects to the blades is by using this shaft. The shaft gets placed on top of the blades, like so.
Yeah.
Then my next step is I place this on top. And this blade here allows us to grate and to slice. For my purpose, slate stands for slicing. I'm going to put this at the top and I have a pusher here. All I need to keep it really simple is press this. And what you have is, this is the thickness of what you would cut potatoes if you were to make something like a bake.
Yeah.
Potatoes. I do a lot of cucumber and beetroot and things like that. So all colors, really. You can also cut this even in half. So the thickness can be halved from here.
Yeah.
Happy with that?
Yeah.
Was that quick? I will put this down. And what I'll do from here is set up the vegetable stock. What is it that that deters you or that gives you so much respect before a stock?
What do you mean?
You said that you haven't got much confidence when it comes to.
It's not the confidence. It's just, it's not something that I'm used to. So I haven't actually, yeah.
That's wonderful to hear. What I've got here is, just need a knife. Hang on. My next step is asking me for brown onions to cut them into wedges. Normally, I could just throw, or the model before this model, I would have asked me to just throw in the onion at the beginning and everything would be sauteed, but only to the glazy state. What we want to achieve now is caramelization, meaning we want those, we want the flavor to come out. And for that reason, we want a bigger surface on the items that we want to caramelize. In this case, it's onions. I do this also with lots of vegetables, because the next step is going to cook these on high temperature. Yeah. I'm being asked to put on the splash guard, and everything we're using today, except for the cutter, is actually part of the package. That's the splash guard, which is going to allow us to have high temperature come out in the form of steam, but we won't have any splashing. That's done, and off we go. Leave this. In 4.5 minutes, this will be done. Initially, you hear the action of sauteing. Very shortly, it'll go quiet, and then it'll start to sizzle. And in the meantime, I'll be doing this on the other side. I'm being asked to put in celery.
Yeah.
And you have a beautiful, beautiful, I don't know what it's called, but the Asian supermarket is not far away from where you live, I believe.
Yeah, yeah.
There's lots of things that could go into a stock. This is the stock that has been used for a long, long time in the Thermomix world. And it really is asking for the basics that we could always have in the house. And colors. Carrot. What else? We have an onion. We have a fresh tomato. And again, if, for instance, any of these ingredients are not what you would want, well, you don't use them. Or if there's other things that you have and that you want to inspire the flavor of your entire stock batch with, put them in. What would be something that you would want to put in? Zucchini?
Mm-hmm.
Garlic cloves? I prepared this earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a couple of bay leaves. Now some fresh basil.
Mm-hmm.
This is where a veggie and herb garden comes in very handy in the house. Then some sage. No, any form of leaf that gives you flavors is very welcome. I'll grow this in my garden. Here's rosemary. And parsley. I like to cook a lot with parsley because there's so much vitamin C.
Very good for you. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's also something that where I grew up, in the culture I grew up in, that's what was always available. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So I give this 6 seconds to mix itself up.
Good.
So this is only to chop this down. What I'm doing here, I've just recently made a fresh batch of stock for myself. I have used half of the ingredients that I would normally put into a stock. Right?
Yeah.
If you're following a recipe fully, stock in general, whether it is beef or lamb or chicken or vegetable stock, which is what I use the most. Actually 95% I use this. I'll use this for everything. The basis, the preservative, the natural preservative for this dish is salt. There's nothing else in there. And so depending on how long you intend to keep this, you put in the full 150 grams of salt. That means 6 months, easily you can keep that in a normal fridge. For me, I don't need 150 grams. I just use 70 to 90 on average. And within a month, I've used up my stock. I'd rather keep using fresh. Good to go?
Yeah.
It smells awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yes.
See the partial browning?
Yeah.
The browning is at the bottom, and that's what really brings us the flavor. Now I'm adding 500 mils of water. It's a very, very, very simple recipe, but it's so heartwarming. I could have this for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Little bit more. Yeah. Now my vegetable stock. You'll be happy to see I use glass. This is what the stock is going to look like. Depending on how much green stuff you put in, it's going to be more green. If you have more, let's say you put fresh turmeric in and carrots, it'll turn a lot more orange.
Mm.
I show you something when everything is cooking that I made yesterday. Made turmeric paste. Fresh, which is what I love. Oh, hang on. From here, this is called the simmering basket. So what have we got down here? Little revision.
Stock and the onion and garlic and
Yes,
olive.
and a little bit of oil. Now I'm adding the simmering basket. And the very first thing that there will be is leek.
Yeah.
And potatoes. And then, of course, there is people who want to know which type of potatoes and so forth. Your personal choice. Surely you would have a preference on potatoes. Do you?
Not really.
So what I am doing here now is, under normal circumstances, this particular recipe, you would probably really like this because it can make two dishes at the same time. And I like the recipe for the soup in this particular recipe. We have the soup ingredients cooking at the bottom, and the normal recipe now would ask for, this is the varoma. Up here, we would put either chicken or salmon, or what I use for vegetarians, I use the portobello mushrooms with garlic and lemon and a bit of ghee mixed up, which is beautiful. That'll become my protein shot for the dish. And all the rest at the bottom is used to steam vegetables, and the entire dish is done in 23 minutes. Very, very powerful. What I'll be doing here today is I'll be placing my broccolinis in. Hang on. Oops. Broccolini here, and just so that we have something on each level.
Yeah.
As an example.
Happy? Steam.
Ask me.
No, I was just explaining it to Mom. Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be cooked by the time the beep goes off.
So if you want to put chicken, would the juice of the chicken go into the soup?
No, not necessarily, because if you are really worried, something that I do, and I know that you would want to see this.
Yeah.
Is this a stainless steel insert that you can sit at the top?
Yeah.
And you can also place a baking paper in between. That's something I'll show you when we do delivery and when we talk about how to not use the machine. You know?
Yeah.
Everything else is possible. But I just wanted you to see that you can utilize this instead of. Yeah. So far so good.
Yeah.
Let's leave that here.
Do we have an option of selecting the steel basket instead of the polypropylene basket?
No, 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 no. There
That
is.
comes
But you
and
can. I am not supposed to tell you this. There are other companies that potentially would make something like that possible. Or you have it done yourself, outsource it yourself. What I would do if you, I'll show you a couple of things. We have several tins that are on the market.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the latest one that only just was released while I was up with you. This fits in here. You can steam your rice in here. And you can cook something else underneath. That way you can use the energy from one thing into the next, which is what I will be doing. Huh?
Okay.
Wonderful. Yes, I can point these out at a later point in time. Just getting some salt. Here's some milled down Himalayan rock salt. You choose whichever salt you would want. Yeah.
The measuring.
A tiny little bit of oil. Ta-da! I was looking forward to showing this to you. So right now, one machine is cooking my stock, the other machine is cooking a soup and is steaming some vegetables at the top, which gives me a bit of time to show you something else. What I've done yesterday is I peeled a good chunk of fresh turmeric and ginger, mixed it up with some pepper and coconut oil, and made some turmeric paste. So this turmeric paste I most frequently use to make myself a turmeric latte.
Oh, okay.
But also this is being used, which I'd love to show you. This could be useful for your wellness retreat if you want. I'll give you some. Because what you can do is, let me just.
Latin or chai wala. Chai latte. Paste.
What I want to do is I do a quick screen share with you.
That's a lovely photo behind you.
Yeah. That's my screen background. Let me see whether I can easily do the screen share. Oh yeah, share screen. And I have done this before. One sec. I want to show you the recipe platform. And that should be, of course, just when I don't need it, and I'm being asked for a new password.
നമ്മൾ പറഞ്ഞ കുക്കിംഗ് കഴിഞ്ഞു അത് റെഡി ആയി വിളക്കുക പിടിക്കുകയൊന്നും ചെയ്യും.
That's one moment.
Okay.
It'll be coming. You know how certain programs and apps ask you to renew your password every so often?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what just happened.
Is it very cold over there?
Where I am? Today is about 16 degrees. There isn't that much difference between where you are and where I am, I believe.
You're in Newcastle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a little bit more, like half an hour inland, in Maitland.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
cookie ഭയങ്കരമായിട്ട് പഴയ
Yeah.
തണുപ്പായതുകൊണ്ട് ഇത് പോകുന്നില്ല അതുകൊണ്ട് പേപ്പർ ഇതിനകത്ത് തന്നെ നിൽക്കും.
നമ്മുടെ എക്സ്ട്രാക്ഷൻ ഫുഡ് പഴയതുന്നുണ്ട്.
ഇനിയിപ്പോ എന്ത് ചെയ്യാൻ?
Here we go. Are you able to?
Yeah.
Able to see that? Make this a little bit bigger. So every person who gets a TM6 will be connected to their own recipe platform. The platform itself is Cookie-Do, and it connects all the countries from around the world with each other in the field of Thermomix. And what this allows you to do is find recipes, find ingredients, find countries, find cultures, find. There is currently over 98,000 recipes accessible for anyone. However, I generally start out with a much less overwhelming, just within Australia with my customers, because there's plenty on offer. And even in the Indian culture, there's lots of stuff on offer within Australia. You can actually, I should use the turmeric wellness shot.
Yeah.
As an example. Here's the wellness shot. Here's a recipe, and that's how you access every recipe. Every recipe comes with a photo and with all the ingredients and anything you need to know about the recipe. What is perhaps really helpful when you're going into the wellness and the nutrition field is for people to understand the nutritional breakdown. Can you see that? Yeah. So perhaps not necessarily for you right now, but if you're looking at people who come from the westernized world, they feel very influenced by this. I personally, myself, am more a person of, hey, let's try to eat clean first and help our gut to work out well before we look at where the calories sit. But that's personal preference. Anyway, we've got all the...
It's actually a very good recipe, lemon and pineapple.
It is very good recipe, and that's why I picked it for you, because I feel this would... You remember how you were talking about, let's have a something at the very beginning? This would fall into the category where I'd say something quite nice. It brings a little bit of heat to the palate. It clears out the throat, and it makes you feel really good. And I got quite a lot of these things that I'm interested in, and I'll often share with the customers as well. So what you can do is you can place this into today. You can put this into a collection so that you can basically, hang on, let's make a new collection. Wellness retreat. And now my collection is there, but I also want to make a big batch of it next week. So let's say next Friday, I've got some time, I place it into my week. I also then want to place it into my shopping list, and those 3 activities are the ones that I promote the most.
Would it tell you if you want to make it for, say, 20 people or 30 people?
You are able to sort that out. I'll show you in a moment. I just lost the connection to one of the Thermomixes, so I'll just switch this back on. What I'm going to show you first, if I go to my recipes now, here is wellness retreat, and there is my recipe. So even if you, on a normal night, you go through recipes and you see something that catches your eye, it is quite possible that you can throw this into a collection or into a day for later and return to it. What I often do is I put it into a day of the week that I feel is suitable. And when I get to that day and it's not the suitable day, I push it a few days ahead until I get the chance to make it. And that's how I collect my personal recipes. So here it is. If I go into my week, we should find it today. Here it is in today. And I also placed it into the 21st, which is here. If this is a view that you do not prefer, here is one that I personally prefer when I have bigger lists of things to do. I think I showed you this when I first met you. Here's some of my weeks.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You cook a lot.
I've worked with I had one event this morning and I have one more tonight. There will be different things that will be cooked, and it's often 3 or 4 dishes. You know?
Mm.
So anyway, we've got this, and on the 21st we should find the wellness shot here. So essentially, your 3 days at the wellness retreat, I'm just using this as an example, could be filled with something that is followable by anyone who can read. Yeah. Come on. There it is. So far, so good. And then I go to my shopping list, where here is the, oops, I've still got the other recipes on it. Let's clear them. And here's my, oops, not, show the ingredients. And here's the ingredients for the one recipe. These are the ingredients. If you were to cook at home, you go through your pantry, or you think through your pantry, and you're going to think, oh, have I got this? Have I got this? And if you have it, see that little box that I'm circling around? You could essentially, well, I'm just going to do that. Filtered water, I have that. When I tick the box, I know that I've actually got those ingredients in my house. And because I want to work with fresh pineapple and not tinned pineapple, I better go and buy a fresh pineapple. So these 2 things, I've also run out of fresh turmeric. These 2 things are now going to be going on my shopping list. If I was to come to your house, or if you were to send this to your daughter, who probably will get access to the entire app. One moment. Just want to finish the cooking process. Good. Where was I? When I want to use this in my cooking process, I can either share this with someone, copy it and share it into, let's say, that's you. And have a look at your phone. You should have received my 2 pieces of.
Mom is asking, are we making this drink today?
I could. I just don't have fresh turmeric. I've only got yeah. I could make this. But how about we make it when you get your machine?
Yeah.
Then you have something fresh to drink. And the other thing that this whole app offers is that you can basically order the ingredients, which allows you to connect to the store that you prefer in Woolworths. And you can either have the ingredients delivered to your house, or you can do click and collect. So far, so good. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So what would be something else that you'd love to hear about? Can I make a suggestion? Something that's really beautiful to clear the bloodstream, and very, very beautiful to make, to have.
Chưa cho nó mà đau nhỉ.
There you go.
Yeah, okay.
This would be something else that I would probably put into somewhere into the wellness retreat.
Yeah, this is good. This is, I mean, on my Facebook page, there is a beetroot recipe for intestinal detox.
Yep.
That's a beetroot based one. Similar ingredient, except for the olive oil and the apple.
You want a detox? This is a beautiful one.
Broccoli, red cabbage, 500 gram red onion, red peppers, 1 avocado diced, 50 grams of fat-free plain yogurt, dressing. Yeah. Looks nice.
Yeah, do you remember the Asian salad that we made at
Yeah.
the ends? That really became an Asian salad more so because of the dressing we produced. Here, looking at the dressing, it's quite neutral.
Hmm.
And you can, whether you use yogurt or just plainly replace the yogurt with lemon juice or lime juice, you keep this really fresh. Or add some chili.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just put this into the collection as well. And one of the things I can actually do for you is I can share this all with you from here.
Okay.
So when you have the subscription, you have full access to the actual recipe.
So how much does it cost for the subscription? Yeah.
That's a very nice question. The subscription itself is free for the first 6 months when you first get your Thermomix. That comes with it. And after the 6 months, it turns into a yearly subscription. And the yearly subscription costs $69. What that means is, just as a comparison, we have one cookbook that they cost you $50 plus postage, usually. $69, you get absolutely every recipe, every collection, every book that's been released into Cookie Do from all over the world. $6, $7 a month is absolutely a steal. Very much worthwhile getting.
Mm.
Yeah, good question.
And if we load some of the recipes into it, okay, how many recipes can be loaded onto the Thermomix?
You mean as in your own?
Yeah, like, you make your weekly
At the moment,
recipes.
yeah. At the moment, it's 100. So I want to show you how that works. You have the opportunity to see that saved. Saved are all the collections, like this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll place it into the collection as well. It tastes really nice. And this one is also a really nice one. Would you like me to share that with you?
Yeah. Yeah. I would like to know how to make bread with millet.
With millet? Oh, yeah. 1 moment. I'll just put this into the collection. I like your questions. So something that I do a lot is this one. And I can assure you, if you go through my personal group collections, my pictures of the bread loaf look far, far better than this picture.
No, I mean, this still has got rice and all that, right?
You can replace the rice with, see, there's millet. Hang on, where is it?
Yeah, there's 80 grams of millet there. Yeah.
You can bring up the millet. You can bring up the chickpea and not have so much rice if you wanted to get rid of the rice. Or you could cook I know that you're worried about the starchiness. You can cook the rice first, like we did, and then use the cooked brown rice. That's a possibility. Replace the ingredients so that it suits your purpose. But everything else that is in here should work for your purpose.
So if the recipe is saying like, you need, say, 2 minutes, but you only put half the ingredients in it.
Yeah.
Does it change the timing on its own?
That's also a good question. That really depends on what you're making. If you are making something that is that in general takes a certain amount to cook, the heat that, for instance, gets built in the bowl will be the same. You might marginally reduce the cooking time if there is cooking time required. But in general, you don't have the cooking time because you have the ingredients. This is only got 1 minute to go. This is done.
Okay, let's see that.
So what we have here is, let's set the top. I'm gonna stop the share and come back to. There is my hang on. To show you properly.
Yeah, you can see it.
One thing that I'd love to share with you, which has never had me use anything other than the Varoma since I've had the Thermomix, is that whatever vegetable you're steaming, it never steams down the color and it never makes it look like it's not inviting anymore to be eaten. And I'll show you this, and then you'll hopefully believe me.
Yes, yeah.
So I am very, very happy.
Yeah.
It's not fallen together completely. It's cooked, but it's still got a little bit of starch left. And if you want it mushy, of course you can make it mushy. But in general, it will not turn out like that if you don't want it. So far, so good. I put this to the side. What I will do from here is on this side, I'm going to turn this up halfway of the speed, just until I hear that my blades are sort of at an even level, and then I turn it up a little bit more until it's completely mushed up into a paste. And over here,
chicken
see what I'm doing?
Couldn't you put the potato and all that in the soup or in the beginning itself?
You can.
Rather than using the basket. Yeah.
What this does is when it's steamed, it's not completely mushy inside the fluid yet. And that means that at the end of it, which you will see in 1 minute, the consistency of my soup is more even and not too.
Okay.
Yeah, it's both possible. So if, for instance, you wanted a soup that is a little bit on a chunky side, quite a lot of men like things to be more chunky. I know you don't have the men in the house, but it is a possibility. You could serve this as is. Sometimes people put bacon in at the beginning to make it a little, and to make it a bit more smoky. I'm not a fan, so I'll leave it as is. And what this will do now is blend.
Mhm. ആ പാസ്ലിക്ക് പകരം കൊറിയാൻഡർ ആണെങ്കിൽ കൊറിയാൻഡർ ഇട്ട് വയ്ക്കാം. കൊറിയാൻഡർ നമ്മുടെ കുക്കിങ്ങിനൊക്കെ കുഴപ്പമില്ലല്ലോ. റോസ്മരിക്ക് വേണ്ടെങ്കിൽ റോസ്മരി വേണ്ട. What do you use the vegetable stock for usually? What do you use for the vegetable stock for? Colette, can you hear me? Can you hear me? No. I can't hear you.
Because I muted because noise.
Okay, that's all right. That's okay. What do
Have a
you use?
little check. Have a little
Yeah.
check. I'm using this.
Yeah.
And this. And then it's easier to pour it into my jar.
And what do you use the stock for?
You name it. I put it into everything. Any casserole, any soup, anything that needs a little bit of flavor, because there is so much goodness in it. And it's just a little bit of an addition to just using salt and pepper.
Yeah.
So, not. In summer, quite often when I have a more strenuous, sweaty training session, I use this a tablespoon or two just to get me electrolytes back. This will now go into the, I leave it to cool down a bit, but this will now go into the fridge, and whenever I need it, I'll use it. On the other hand,
Tomato, carrot. Capsicum. Oh, that's lovely.
look, nice.
Very nice, very nice. You didn't add any stock or anything. Oh yeah, you did. You added stock to the soup as well, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did that when we had the,
Yeah.
the onion, the garlic, then the water, then the stock. Then we placed the simmering basket in, added leek and potato, and then up the top we had the other. So something that the Thermomix is very, very good at. Have a look. We can't not show you how it cleans itself.
Self-cleaning.
So we have a function that is called pre-clean, and on the basis of what you have used, you set it up. I'm using just a quick clean for 2 minutes. And that's it.
Where is our soup?
I promise I'll make you soup and I'll see you the next time. Just a little bit short notice.
Just a second, Colette.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Everything good? So what I do with this water is I get rid of it.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah.
And now all it needs is a little rinse job, which is pretty damn easy.
Yeah.
While we're here, so I swipe across to the left and I see all these functions, and I swipe across to the right and I have direct access to the Cookie platform from
Yeah. How much is it, Colette?
the Thermomix.
Mhm.
Yeah, good question. One sec. Give you a good visual. So the Thermomix comes with all parts at the price of $2,579. Now that price is always the same. What can change is the way you go about payment and special conditions. What we have right now and until Tuesday is a second ball blade and lid set, other than the one that you're getting, for the price of $29 instead of $395. That's $366 saving. And it's my personal favorite in terms of the.
And do you have a steel bucket to buy? Steel,
Sorry?
the steel strainer, not strainer, what do you call it? The steel, the rice steamer?
This?
Not that, the other one?
This is something you can get
No,
from.
no, not that. Not that either. You know, the basket.
Yeah, the basket, everything is part of it. Yeah.
I know. But can we buy a steel one?
No. No, not from Thermomix.
So they haven't introduced that yet.
No. No. It's not part of something that I'm aware of that will come anytime soon, because they have spent many, many years working on a solution that is completely food safe. And all the parts that you see.
Can I ask whether there are any studies looking into the plastic particles in the food that is cooked in
There is
Thermomix?
studies, and I haven't got, I've done this ages ago, but I haven't got access to a recent one. I will have to send that to you. It's all been researched so many times in the past, and
Yeah.
you're not the only one and not the first one ever to ask.
No, that will be the only thing that stops me. So I would like to know the plastic particles presence in the rice or things that is cooked in the Thermomix. So if you don't mind finding a study that looks into that, and if I am okay with that, then I am going for it.
Yeah, no worries. Wasn't aware that that was the only thing that holds you back.
That's the only thing, like, the plastic. Can I then now talk to you a bit later? I know you've got a busy evening as well. So thank you so much for this session. And I will look forward to hearing from you about that link. If it is before Tuesday, even better, then, then I can use the other offer as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, and would you like me to send me? You can do that via the message. Send me your name, the full name, which I have, and the telephone number you're using now, because I got two for you. An email address and your address. That's all I need.
Yeah, I will. Okay.
Yeah.
So thank
No
you.
worries.
See you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.